Hey folks, I'm Mike. Do you hate ads? I hate ads. You know what I like? Patreon.com/Inkdependence. It keeps this blog ad-free. Hello folks, welcome to Inkdependence.com. Today we're going to be taking a look at another pen, and that is this one. This is a Montegrappa pen, and it was sent out to me courtesy of Kenro. So just for review, I'll be giving this guy back. But this is the Montegrappa Mini Mule, as it says here. Now the flap on here is a nice magnety flap. This is in the Fortuna series. There you go. You can see the pen is here. It actually comes in this nice little Ziploc bag, which keeps it all bright and shiny like a new penny. I'll throw up a picture of it, the original one, over here. Within a few days, though, for me, it had developed a very nice patina. Let's go ahead and look at what else is in the box before I get to the pen. Underneath here, you have a little bit of silica gel. Don't eat that. You have a couple of cartridges down here. Looks like black cartridges. And then you've got a little story about the mule in Italian and English. And then you have the Montegrappa instruction booklet, and that's kind of it underneath the pen pillow. I do like they have this little hidden compartment. That's a nice thing in a pen box. Lets you put all the stuff in there and look kind of neat. Let's get this guy out of here. Come on. There we go. All right. So this is the Montegrappa Fortuna Mini Mule, Mini Copper Mule, and it is, as it says, a copper pen. Copper pens are pretty nice. They have these purported antimicrobial properties. I don't know how much that actually works in a pen like this, but, you know, whatever, it couldn't hurt. As far as it being copper, it does smell like pennies. So if you hate that smell, yep, my fingers do smell a little bit like pennies just from playing with this pen today. So keep that in mind whenever you get a copper pen or a brass pen or anything like that. They do smell like the thing they are, which is good. And this is a solid copper barrel. I looked inside with a flashlight, which I really can't show on here. It won't show up well. But I looked in here with a flashlight, and yeah, it's a solid copper barrel. You just have these little stainless steel bits for the threads and stuff. So let's take a up-close tour. You'll see here on the belly band, the waistband here, it says Montegrappa, and that is it. That's the only branding on here aside from this 1912 on the finial with the little laurel. I think that looks nice. It's a good bit of branding. It looks pretty classy on this mule too. You also have this nice clip. I really like the clip on the Fortuna. It's one of my come here. It's one of my very favorite clips actually. It's a pretty nice stiff spring, but it has a roller. There's a little wheel. Makes it easy to get on and off of shirt plackets and whatever you've got it clipped to. But nice and stiff. I haven't had any problems with this one going onto and off of the various things that I've clipped it to. So notebooks and shirt plackets and pockets and that kind of thing. The bottom is sort of rounded off on the edges but flat across the top. And there you go. You can also see it has a sort of gentle sweep here. Gets narrower as it goes, and then the cap is a little bit on the bulbous side, which is just a feature of the Fortuna line. And I think it's actually a very nice looking pen. It sort of breaks up the kind of average cigar looking pen sort of thing. So like this is a Sailor 1911, and you can see it's just kind of a torpedo-y cigar shape, whereas the Fortuna breaks that up with different lines and curves, and I think that's pretty nice. I also really like the way that they've done the brushed stainless steel here on the band and also on the clip. And as we open it, you'll see it actually has block threads here in the back, which is a nice change. You don't see that on very many things. We just saw that on a franklin-christoph pen. You get the same kind of block threads here, although they're at the back of the section, not at the front. When you take this off, you'll see inside the cap there is a plastic liner that goes all the way in there, and that's so that you can post this pen. And it does post very securely. This is the Mini Mule, so it's a fairly small pen, and I think it feels a little bit too small, even though it does extend past the web of my finger thumb area here. Given that it's a very slim pen as well, I do like to write with it posted. I think it's more comfortable that way. I'm not exactly sure why, but that's how it feels to me. And it posts very securely. It doesn't fall off. So that's a cool thing. As you can see here, the section of this pen is brushed stainless. Like this nice black. I don't know, it comes that way, so I guess it's colored in or something in the factory, but it looks nice, and I think this is a very attractive section. I've always really liked the look of these mule pens. At the end here, you'll see it's a nib. I think that's roughly a number 5 nib, although they don't really say anything about that on the web pages. And I know that they were switching over to Jowo at some point. I don't know who made this nib, whether it was a Bach or a Jowo, but I kind of think it's still a Bach nib. That being said, while I don't generally like Bach nibs, I do like the way this one writes. I did have some hard starts and that sort of thing, some frustration early on, but that's because I was over hasty and I didn't wash out the nib before I used the pen. So learn from my mistakes. Don't be hasty and fill up your pen and be like, no, it skips and it hard starts. Well, you're probably going to have like manufacturing oils and who knows what else in there when you buy a new pen. It's just kind of the way it comes from factories. So if you just give it a nice thorough cleaning, give it some, I'll use a little bit of pen flush to sort of break that up. But just like regular water can do it too. So just like clean out your nibs before you use them, kids. That's my advice. After I did that, this wrote just fine. I do notice that there is like a bit of a difference in the like sort of it's not plating, but the brushed look of it. It looks a little bit different along the nib slit, and that's not just ink. It's just it's sort of shiny there right along the nib slit. So I'm not sure exactly why that is. Maybe they do the brushing before they do the nib cutting or the slit cutting. I don't really know, but it doesn't bother me. I mean, you're gonna have ink in there anyway. It's gonna look a little bit strange. So whatever. Seems fine. All right, let's open this guy up and see the innards. The innards, the innards. You can't really see the copper in there, but you can see this is just a stainless steel ring bit that's, I don't know, glued, welded. I don't know. It's affixed. It's not coming off. In here you have a converter. You're not going to want to R-dropper this thing. You can use a regular cartridge if you like. This converter does screw in, which is always a nice feature. I really like that on pens, this threaded converter action. It just sort of immediately classes up the pen. You're not going to have the converter fall off, which will happen in several, like, I've got lots of pens in which the converters tend to fall off. Like, I don't know, they're a little bit loose or they get loose over time or something. But man, you get one of these that screws in, no worries about that. All right, so let's look at it next to a whole bunch of other pens, and then we'll do a little writing sample with this guy since, it's not just a standard nib. Hold on one sec. Okay, so here you'll see a whole bunch of different kinds of pens, starting down here with the Kaweco Sport, which is a very small pocket pen, the franklin-christoph 45, which I recently reviewed, the franklin-christoph Pocket 66, the 45 long, then the Montegrappa Mini Mule. If I had a Fortuna, I would throw that in here too. It would probably fit in this range. I don't have one here, unfortunately. Just to show the size difference. Here we have the Faber-Castell Loom, the Ryan Krusak L15, no, L14 is what this one is. This one is a franklin-christoph number 46. This is a Sailor 1911 standard size, not the large. The large would be down here in this end somewhere. This is a Pilot Metro, the Lamy Safari, the Platinum 3776 Century, the Lamy 2000, the franklin-christoph Model 2, and the Canalea. This is the Mauna Kea. So this is a big old baton of a pen. The Mini fits down here squarely in the like larger range of pockety sort of pens, but kind of a medium-sized pen, really. I mean, as far as pen sizes, I think probably this is a very average size. This Platinum, and it's just a bit longer and a bit thicker. So this is a pretty comfortable pen to use. This Fortuna Mini. I think it's a little bit on the small size for me, but I got these big old meat hooks, so if you have hands that are any smaller than mine, you'll probably be just fine with these guys. Okay, let me take off some caps, and we'll see some uncapped lengths. Okay, that's enough of them, I think. So, as you can see, this fits right in line. It's like the same exact length, more or less. I'm going to say it's pretty much exactly the same length as the Pocket 66, the 45 long, the Loom, and the Krusak, and this one's a little bit. These two are a little bit longer, but pretty much the same size. It's going to be about the same size as this one, actually, which is interesting. This is the Sailor 1911 standard, maybe just a skosh longer at the nib end, but pretty much the same length. So if you have one of these handy, you know how long this Mini Mule is. You can tell that this one's a little bit thicker, but not by much. Around the same size pen. All right, let's go ahead and post some things and see how that looks. All right, so posted length puts it a little smaller in the Loom, right around the same size as the franklin-christophs and the Sailor. A little bit shorter than the Metro. The Metro doesn't post all that deep. I don't think it's a great posting pen. It's fine, but it's not great. All right, and also this Ryan Krusak, not the best poster. It just makes it too long, I think. There's no real reason for that. Let me go ahead and cap this guy up while it's in my hands. Okay, let's clear this away and get a writing sample. Okay, so these are my Montegrappa Mini Mule notes. Let's go ahead and look at some of the informations here while we've got it. Misrip is around 295. I've seen it listed at 350, but the rest of the site's listed at 295, and so that makes your street price around 236 to 250, depending on where you go. This is a PenChalet price, 236. 250 is much more common at like Pen Boutique. I think Goulet's also got around 236. This isn't in stock at terribly many places. I think it's just a fairly new pen, so you're not going to see it super often, but if you look around, you will definitely find it. The nibs come in steel. It's that brushed steel. It comes in 5, medium, and broad only, and I think it's around a number 5, and I think it's a Bach. Those are both kind of question marks, so don't quote me on that. Copper body and cap, brushed stainless, etc. as block threads. Cool. Lengths. This is right around 5 inches. Cap just a little bit over. Uncapped 4.73 in the pocket. That's the pocket depth from the top of the clip to the bottom of this. So if you're going to slip it into a pocket, how deep would it need to be to go fully in there? And that is 4.72, which is perfectly cromulent. I've been carrying this around in a pocket quite a bit, and because it pockets so deeply, like you just have this much sticking out. It doesn't look all that garish. I've had other pens that stick way out of pockets. This one's not one of them. And then section diameter is in a very comfortable 8.3 to 9.2 range. I personally prefer around a 10 or 11 millimeter section diameter, but this is a mini pen, so like that's not that bad. All right, let's go ahead and do a writing sample right quick. This is the Montegrappa Mini Mule. It's inked with this is what is in this? Oh, this is an ink that I really like. This is Monteverde Horizon Blue. And yeah, this nib has no problems keeping up now, no problems starting up. In fact, you noticed it started up immediately there, even with some quick writing and that sort of thing. And that was actually after being out for quite a bit while filming, and I haven't written with this for a little while because I've been filming ink reviews or pen reviews. You can see all the little dots from uncapping and capping pens. So this one sat uncapped for a little bit, and while this is a very good ink and it doesn't tend to dry out of nibs, this nib has actually been keeping up really well. I've actually been very impressed with this. If there's been a problem with the Fortuna line in the past, it's been with the nibs. I just haven't loved them most of the time. The other mule I had was pretty good. Audrey's got a Fortuna that I've never really liked the nib on. This is the best Fortuna nib I've used so far. So I really like it. And actually, like I said, it gave me hard starts when I started out. Wash your nib and feed out. Like just use the converter to suck water in and out of it until it's had some stuff flushed out. And actually, looking at it, you can actually see the bright penny surface there underneath the clip. There. This has patinaed quite a lot. I patina pens fairly quickly. That's usually down to like body chemistry and that sort of thing. Within 3 days, it looked pretty much like this. But you can see that coppery bit underneath there. All right, so no problems with this guy in terms of writing. It writes very nicely, clean. I really, man, I'm kind of talking myself into liking this pen even more than I thought I did, but it's very cool. And check out the Montegrappa Mini Copper Mule. You can find it at all kinds of sites. This was sent out to me by Kenro for review, and I'll be giving it back. This is just a loaner, but get it from your favorite Montegrappa retailer. Tell them I said hi, and check out the stuff in the description. I've got links in the description for pens and inks and all that kind of jazz. Also, my web store with logos and pen pouches and all kinds of things. Also, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff, and in fact, find me over on Twitch, where I Twitch video games and stuff under Ink Dependence Mike. So I will see y'all around. Peace out.